Good evening. I'm Joyce Harley, 84 Boston Street, Newark, New Jersey. I'm a former member of this governing body, and I shared with this body on the 19th that I was elected, the first African American elected to serve on this governing body in this town, having lived in this town for over 20 years, first on Wyoming Avenue and then on Hill Drive in Newstead. I served on this board at a time when South Orange was dealing with very thorny issues that were difficult. At times there was dissent. We didn't always agree. There was healthy debate. But never in the history of this town, in the history of any governing body in the state of New Jersey, has any elected official, any member of any governing body in this state been subjected to the kind of vulgar, dirty, low-down, scurrilous diatribes that have been heaped upon both Trustee Stacey Jennings, and now we know, because I've seen the emails, heaped upon Trustee Terry Ann Moore Abrams by Mark Rosner. There's no place for this kind of obscene, disrespectful trash talk anywhere in the body politic, not here in South Orange, not in Essex County, and not in the state of New Jersey. I repeat, Mark Rosner, you have to step down. I have received hundreds of communications from women in South Orange, outside of South Orange, around the state, and even around the nation, who've heard about Mark Rosner's disgusting attacks on two outstanding public officials, both of whom are women, and both of whom also are African American, and I'll get back to the African American part in a minute. The outrage is universal. Women of all colors, professions, in and outside of South Orange are outraged. It's palpable, it's sustained, and it's resolute. You've got to go. I've also had scores of communications from men in South Orange, outside of South Orange, around the state, who are ashamed of the response from the other members of this board, who've made feeble, weak attempts to defend Mark Rosner by insinuating that his calling Trustee Stacey Jennings an effing B was an isolated incident and a mere slip of the tongue. Well, I filed an Open Public Records Act request and have seen a slew of emails by Mark Rosner sent to an employee of this town. The emails use the B word, they use other vulgarities that really only someone who is foul-mouthed would use. The fact that Mark Rosner also threatens, I'm going to quote from the emails when referring to Trustee Jennings, to go after her big time now. No more Mr. Nice Guy to her BS act. Should give everyone pause and make you sick to your stomach. This is no isolated incident. This is no mere slip of the tongue. This is a man who should be removed from public office. These emails were sent to a town employee on town time. Check the dates and check the time. Mark Rosner, you've got to go. The employee replies, hey, not cool. I'm friends with her too. I would never let her talk about you that way. But then the employee goes on to say, shouldn't you be mad at Terry Ann also? Will you go after her? Mark Rosner states clearly and menacingly that I am just as mad at Terry Ann, will deal with her too. I could go on and on, but take my word for it. The emails will make your stomach turn. The man is clearly unfit to serve in the public domain. He's twisted, he's sick, and he's infected the employees who are charged with the responsibility of working with and for each trustee, not just this sick one here. There are other inappropriate references to women who live in South Orange but don't serve on the governing body, who are called by name, and they'll make your skin crawl when you read them. Mark Rosner could do us all a favor by resigning and getting the counseling that he so sorely needs. He's clearly unable to deal with smart, effective women who are his peer on the governing body. He needs to step down. Interestingly enough, it doesn't stop there. And this is where the African American piece comes in. Because I think people who were here last time will recall that there was an awful lot of talk about race and race baiting. And I made it clear in my statement then that there was nothing about race in the comments about Stacey Jennings, nothing about race in the myriad of emails that went back and forth. But what's interesting is when you look at the emails, there are many references to race in the emails that should offend any citizen of any ethnic persuasion, whether you live in South Orange or not. He's clearly a throwback to a terrible time in our history, a bad influence on town employees, and a rotten specimen of an elected official. He has got to go. You will note that in one of the emails he says, referring to Trustees Jennings and Moore Abrams, I quote, "We should ask both of them for their resignation." I speak for hundreds of women. I speak for hundreds of women when I commend the two women who serve on this board who've been smeared by Mark Rosner. You both have shown class, grace, and dignity under fire. All thoughtful women know that if we allow him to come for you in the morning, he'll come for any of us at night. We stand with the two of you, and will work hard to make sure that never again will you or any other woman who has the courage to seek elective office in this town or anywhere else in this state for that matter, never again should you be subjected to such vulgar, disgusting attacks. And just one last point before I close. I've been asked by one of Mark Rosner's henchmen to apologize for calling him a pig in my email. And ladies and gentlemen, I absolutely do apologize. I apologize to the pig because no pig should ever have to suffer the indignity of being